Hello, 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 everybody. It's your girl, Stevie Aisha Mills, the I Love My Life Strategist. I help women push past their past so that they can loudly and proudly declare I love my life. And so, this is the conversation, my favorite conversation each and every week on Mondays. And I love my guests. I really, really do. They are awesome women and men who come by to just share some of their why behind their what. And so today I get to talk to one of my favorite people in the world. She is such an amazing person who is knowledgeable about a lot of things. And so we're going to talk about some of those things. Today I'm going to give you a little bit of her biographical history, and then we're going to get right into the conversation. And so LaTrice Huff, SPHR, is the Human Capital Strategist and Career Coach at Talent Stays. She has 10 years in human resources, recruiting, and marketing. LaTrice is known for providing practical, real-world advice to help her clients have a great career. Her unique insight helps professionals have the career of their dreams. Through her fun and interactive workshops and coaching sessions, LaTrice provides tools and skills you can immediately use to be successful. Hi, LaTrice. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Miss Stevie?
Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I am excited that you are here. We are going to have a grand conversation. We're going to have a grand one because you were just so full of knowledge about careers, and I love bringing you to any place that I am just because a lot of the people who follow me are entrepreneurs. I call them my chicpreneurs because a lot of them are women in business. But you bring the career side, and I think that's awesome because some of them are still in their 9-to-5, right? Or they are trying to transition out of it, or they absolutely love it.
Yes.
And that is why I want to have this conversation with you. So tell us why you get up every day, each and every day, saying, I love my life. Let's start there.
Well, I will also tell people that the tips and the advice that I give about your career also is as applicable towards your business. Your business is your career. That is your job. That's what you go to, and you can love it just as much. I tell people to love their career as much as they love their business and vice versa. Why I do it, I love helping people. I always have since I was younger, and this is my way of kind of giving back. I saw a real need for people not knowing, how to represent themselves, how to network, how to negotiate, how to put together a resume, how to speak to leaders in the industry or leaders at the company. And I've always wanted to start my business doing this. And then just recently, I would say probably in the last year, I had the opportunity to work on my business full time. But I do it because I love it. I'm really passionate about it, coaching and mentoring and seeing people really transform and blossom and coming out of their shell. I love that. And I get to hear great success stories when people think like, I'm in this job and I can only make 40, 50, even 60,000. That's all I can make. And then I'm like, I work with them and tell them you can make 80, 90, 100,000. I tell people if you're making 50,000, I can get you to 80. If you're making 80,000, I can get you to 100 and going up from there. But a lot of it has to do with the person being confident. A lot of times people aren't confident in themselves. People don't know their value, or they don't know how to communicate their value and what they bring to the table. And that's what I help them with, and I just love it. I love doing it. It makes me happy.
That's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about what you just said about the fact that money, right, the salary, the increase, the financial capital can be increased when we're confident. Let's talk about that because that's profound. Can you expound a little bit about that?
I will tell you, because we think what someone pays us is what we are worth. That is not true. We think because this is the salary we're getting, then that must be the salary we deserve. That must be the value of me. And it is completely not true. They're paying you that salary because that's what you expected. And it's as simple as that. And you could be at a company for 10 years and you wonder why this new person comes in and makes more money than you. It's because they requested it, they asked, they applied for a better position. It could be 1,000,001 reasons. But we got to stop equating what you're getting with your value because it's not a one-to-one. It's just not true. So what I work with a lot of women and some men is really how do you get over that? How do you have enough confidence to walk into, your supervisor's or your boss's office and ask for a raise and explain why you deserve it, the value you bring? How do you negotiate your salary or negotiate an offer? And if you have your own business, how do you negotiate your services? How do you price your services and really ask for what you're worth? Because a lot of people, a lot of it is directly tied to confidence and self-worth. And even you can see people who you're like, well, they seem very confident, but when you get them in that chair and they need to explain or ask for something is when you see that confidence dwindle. So I help people get that confidence up so they can get the money that they deserve. And then once you get that, your goal should increase. Every 2 years you should be doing something different. Every 2 years you should be making more and more money. You don't want to stay stagnant in your career just like you want to stay stagnant in your business or anything else. Even in your marriage, you want to get better and better in your life. Once you achieve one goal, you then want to set another goal even higher. And some people, when we meet these financial goals, I remember my goal was I wanted to make $40,000. That was my goal. I wanted to make $40,000, and I felt like once I made $40,000, I had made it. I was done. It was good. And then the $40,000 wasn't enough, and I had someone working with me and kind of pushing me, saying, "Hey, you deserve more. You can get more." And then I started putting myself out there. I started talking to my boss. I asked for a raise, and they told me they could only give me $2,000 more. And I was like, I don't think that's true. Let me show you where this money is coming from. And I showed how I was saving the company money and adding value. And I also showed what market rate for my salary was. And I got let's say, over a $10,000 increase. And this is after I had already had several increases. People feel like if your boss gives you one thing or you get a raise or a salary, you then can't ask for more. Every 2 years, you should be asking for a raise, going after a promotion, or going after another job. Even if you're staying with the same company or even the same job title, take on different responsibilities, have different challenges, because you really want to justify that income as well. But I see a lot of people setting the bar very low and then either not accomplishing that or getting to that lower salary and then feeling comfortable in staying there. And that's not what you want to do. So
Awesome.
I hope that answers your question.
Yes, I was just going to let you keep on talking. You were giving it good.
I am very passionate about negotiating salaries. I tell people like it, and I had to read. I read a lot of books. Being in HR, you take a lot of trainings, but also I saw a lot of things. I saw how women did not negotiate their salary. So women also, when we see a job description, before we apply, we make sure that we need 90 to 95% of the job qualifications. And then even before we take action, we want to make a decision by committee. We want to ask our friends. We want to ask our husbands. We want to look at it for a while, right? With men, on the other hand, if they see a job ad and they meet 50% of the qualifications, they will apply. And then guess what? Then they'll go in and negotiate that salary. So I've seen the difference. I've seen it where, a man and a woman can have the same job title, the same amount of experience, or the woman has a little bit more experience, and that guy comes in making more money simply because he asked for it. That would be the only difference. He went after the position, and he asked for the bigger salary. And maybe they didn't give him exactly what he wanted, but they gave him a little more than that bare minimum. So
Wow.
because I have seen so much and learned so much, I started using these techniques in my own career. And then I started sharing the techniques with my family and friends, and I negotiated my daughter's first salary. She's not even out of college, and we were able to negotiate her salary. So even people who think they can't they have nothing to negotiate with, you always have something to negotiate with. And I say, why take the bare minimum? Why accept the bare minimum that someone is going to give you? So yes, I am very passionate about negotiating salaries, negotiating offers, negotiating services. It is power in negotiation, but you have to have the confidence first. You can't go in, I feel like I deserve, and you can't look at someone else. You can't say, well, I think you should give me this because you gave Sally that. No, that's not how it works. So that's my rant on negotiation and salaries and how your confidence is attached to that, and that it can be a learned skill, but part of that learned skill is getting your confidence up, getting your facts straight, knowing how to communicate your value and your worth.
Awesomeness. Awesomeness. Let's talk about the fact of a branded resume, because I know I did some work with you over last year. And so let's talk about what branding yourself in career looks like.
So when you brand yourself, you are setting yourself apart. I speak with a lot of people, and they focus so much on what they don't have. I don't have the experience. They focus a lot on what they don't have. They focus on, I don't have enough experience, or I don't have enough education, or, I don't have enough this or enough that. Instead, you need to focus on what you do have. Your professional brand is your unique selling proposition. That's what sets you apart. 9 times out of 10, it's also going to be something that is intrinsic and something that is cannot be repeated. Like if you have a great personality, if you're funny, if you're analytical and you have a way of seeing things, if you can identify trends, if you work well in a team. These are things not every person is going to have. Even if someone does have more experience than you, what else do you bring to the table to compensate for that? And it could be that you are a great team member. It could be that you are a leader. But you first need to know what makes you unique. Right? And what happens is, and I see this with a lot of women, we just go about our daily business. We think this is who I am. It's nothing special about me. And we think if something comes easy to us, that it comes easy to everyone else. And it's not. That is not the case. I tell people the best way to kind of start to figure out your professional brand is to ask people, and then also see what other people are saying about you. Look at your reviews. What does your boss always say about you? I had one person I was working with, and she was like, I just don't know. I said, well, what is it that your boss always tell you? And she said, my boss always told me and other people that I'm calm, cool, and collective no matter the crisis. I said, oh, my God, that is a great professional brand. A lot of people are not going to be calm, cool, and collective in a crisis. Most people are not. Some people adapt very well to change. Most people do not adapt well to change. So if you're someone who you can go, things change every day with the sun, as the sun rises and the moon sets, and your life is changing and you know how to adapt, that's your professional brand that sets you apart. And you do want to explicitly put that on your resume, right? That is different from, these experiences that could be very similar or identical to someone else. Your unique selling proposition or your professional brand is what makes you different. That's what's going to have that interviewer remember you. That's what's going to help you stand out and help you get the job amongst all these other people. And that's the one thing I see people don't think about, and they forget to put that on their resume. A lot of these resume templates out here, they don't show you that. They don't explicitly say put your professional brand on there. And then people don't know how to do it. They're like, well, where would I get this brand from? What's my brand? A lot of the times, once I ask probing questions, the women and my clients that I work with, they get it like that. they start saying it. I'm like, that's it. We're going to put that on everything.
That's awesome. I mean, you know, for me, especially listeners, you know, I call that the it factor.
Yeah.
That's what that means in my language.
I may start using that, like put your it factor on your resume. I like it. I do like
yes,
that.
Yes, and tell your clients to get the book so they'll know what it is.
Yes, explicitly communicating your it factor. And you put it on your resume, but then you also put it on your LinkedIn profile. You wear it, you speak it in everything you do. When you go to the interview, I tell people you should have 2 or 3 hero stories and try to have one story where you made a mistake and learned something from it. And all of these should tie back into your professional brand or your it factor, right? They should tie
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I'm going to put you – this is putting you on the spot in live and in action. So you know a little bit about me. How would you describe my professional brand?
I would say for you, for your professional brand, because you definitely have that it factor, but you also have a way of bringing out other people's it factor. So bringing out the best in other people and coaching and motivating, that is an it factor. Everybody can't coach. Everybody can't bring out the best in the next person beside them. And I will say what I've also noticed is that you're more collaborative than competitive. And that in the workforce and the business environment is going to take you so far, like being more collaborative, just how you speak to people, how you're bringing people together, how you're not like, oh, well, this person is competition for this person. You think more like, well, this person can learn a lot from this person because they have a lot in common. Being that collaborative and that relationship builder, I would say, is your professional brand, and being able to find and coach people is amazing. Right? I mean, coaching is hard, and being able to really transform lives and bring the best out of someone, a lot of people can't do that. I know very few people, I can probably count them on one hand, who can effectively do that. So for me, that's what I would say. Like if you had to write your professional brand, it would definitely say something about being collaborative, more collaborative than competitive, and being able to bring out the best in others and being able to coach and mentor people.
You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first, and we didn't even practice that. That was live and in living color. We did not practice that. I want to transition to what I know you love and what you are passionate about, and that is LinkedIn. And it's so amazing because we've had these conversations about LinkedIn, and, you know, we all are very keen to our social media channels, right? We know which ones we love, and we know which ones we treat like third cousins. Mm-hmm. And you are just a pro at LinkedIn. So give us a little bit about why you love LinkedIn, and also 1 or 2 tips about how we can sparkle on LinkedIn.
Okay, I will say, and I'm going to start off with say LinkedIn does not pay me. I don't get any money for this. I am not an affiliate of LinkedIn. Because people are like, do you work for them? No. I have just used them. They are so great. I have gotten clients from LinkedIn. Before I had my business, I've gotten job offers from LinkedIn. I've found mentors on LinkedIn. I've been able to find great advice from LinkedIn. I was able to communicate with people who I would never have a chance to give me great advice from LinkedIn. I'm doing a webinar on the 26th of this month, and actually that was from some connections that I made on LinkedIn. And that is why I love it. I have seen it work in action. And LinkedIn will give you your stats. It'll tell you, who's looking at your profile, where you rank, and how many people are requesting to connect with you. So you can see once you start making some changes on your LinkedIn profile, you'll know very quickly that it's working, right? That's just a couple of reasons. If you are a business owner and you're trying to find clients, LinkedIn is the place to be, because LinkedIn does something no other social media does. LinkedIn allows you to actually download your connection's email address. Now, I'm not saying to like spam people or things like that, but just in case you want to have those emails if anything ever happened to this platform. Like if you have 500,000 or 5,000 Facebook friends, and something happens to Facebook, that's all gone. You have no way of reaching out to those people. Where LinkedIn allows you to have this backup from a professional perspective, it's very good. And definitely depending on your services, people on LinkedIn are there looking for services, where a Facebook is great. And I'm an advocate of Facebook as well, but I just haven't had any clients or job offers or anything like that from Facebook. And again, it depends on what your business is. So I'm going to give you a pro tip. Pro tip for LinkedIn. My number one tip would be add keywords to your profile. That's how people are going to find you. You have to be keyword rich. Whatever your business is, whatever career you're going after or job you're looking for, whatever the lingo or the language is, you have to put that on your profile. When people looking for a service, what they do is they put what they think is a keyword in the search engine box, and then LinkedIn pulls from the profiles that have the most keywords and says, like, here are all the people that match this inquiry. So you have to have those keywords, right? My number two tip, you have to have a picture, right? Even if it's a really great selfie, I don't think it should be selfies. It should be more of a professional picture. But I see so many profiles that don't have pictures. I won't even accept the connection if it doesn't have a picture. Even if it's someone I know and I recognize the name, I'll call or text first. It's like, hey, is this you? But you got to have a picture on your profile. So those are my number one top tips. And if you just put a picture up and have keywords, you will notice a difference within 24 hours. And you'll be able to see some momentum in your profile very, very quickly. I will tell people some of the downsides of LinkedIn is that, one, they don't have as many users as Facebook, and then those users are not on it. LinkedIn does have several million users, which is great, but they're not always on it. Like, people are on Facebook multiple times a day, but people are not on LinkedIn. The average LinkedIn user uses LinkedIn about 17 minutes a month, which I tell my clients, if you get on LinkedIn 17 minutes a week, right, then you're going to be better off than, I would say, 70% of the people on there. But to combat that, one of the good things about LinkedIn is when people do go on there, they are looking for a specific thing. So they are primed and ready. So this is how, it's very easy to get job offers. It's very easy to communicate with recruiters and have them contact you back very quickly, is because they're on there with a specific mission. Where a Facebook, they're just scrolling, seeing what's going on with things, and they may come across something that you posted. LinkedIn, usually people are going on there with a purpose to get a service, find help for something, connect with somebody, find a mentor, find a job. Or on the flip side, the recruiter is looking to hire, a manager is looking to get, additional staff. It's usually with a specific purpose. So, yeah, I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate of LinkedIn. I'm probably on LinkedIn every day. Even if I don't post, I'm looking, I'm connecting, I'm joining groups. I'm on it every day, and it has really paid off for me in my business, in my career. I got so many job offers, I had to really switch my profile as more of a business focus than of an employee, because I was having so many hiring managers and recruiters contact me. I had one hiring manager contact me to schedule an interview, and I had to fill out the application. And that actually happened twice. And then she was like, hey, just as a formality, can you fill this out before the interview? I was like, sure, I'll apply for the job. So just depending, especially if you're in a professional environment or if you're seeking clients in a professional environment, you absolutely need to be on LinkedIn. Absolutely.
Well, y'all just heard why you need to take the class. I just don't know what to say. I do not know what to say because that's I can't teach nothing about nobody's LinkedIn, honey. So you better sign up for LaTrice's class.
Yeah,
you come here asking me.
I do offer classes on LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn to Your Dream Job on-demand class for $29, and you can just purchase that and watch it. I also do one-on-one, and then I also create LinkedIn profiles or alternate edit LinkedIn profiles, which has been like one of my number one sellers these days. I think people realize, especially in 2017, you at least need a great LinkedIn profile. Even if you're not going to be on it every day, you at least need a LinkedIn profile. And the good thing is, LinkedIn will be working for you in the background. You set a great profile up, and every time someone does a search, your profile is going to come up that matches those keywords. So yes, I definitely offer help with that. And again, it's one of the main things that I'm in demand for. It's starting to be a higher demand even than the resumes is the LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, I believe it because we all need that. Whether you we always talk about the fact that entrepreneurs, that's the resume is a great thing to have. I believe that, but as an entrepreneur, we're not thinking resume. But as an entrepreneur, we think LinkedIn. So yes, I know that because my entrepreneurial wavelength is like going all the way off. I'm like, how much is that? Because people need that. So I can definitely see that is a different space. And a lot of people are now becoming more entrepreneurial.
Yes.
The people I know anyway, even if they have a side hustle, they're becoming more entrepreneurial based and minded than necessarily career focused. And so that is amazing. Do you manage LinkedIn sites? Like, will you update it and all that? Like, build it, update it, keep it going? Just say, here's my LinkedIn. You work it.
It actually depends on what they need and what they want. But yes, we can do that. We use Buffer, and we have different tools to schedule them out. So that is what I use as well, and you can schedule out your LinkedIn posts, right? And with LinkedIn, like I said, it's not as fast as Facebook. People aren't on there as much. So even if you post just once a day, you're good. Even if you post probably 2 or 3 times a week, you're going to be great. Like, you're still going to be good. Versus, like, with the Facebook, you got to post, several times a day, which I'm not the best at Facebook.
I'm a Facebook. I love me some Facebook, honey. It's been good to me. It's been good to me.
See, that's how I feel about LinkedIn. I'm like, LinkedIn is good. And I will say a difference, too, that I've noticed from the Facebook and LinkedIn. LinkedIn has that search bar, so you can search for people. Don't just think you want to optimize your profile for people searching for you. That's great, right? And that's going to have it running in the background. But you can also run these searches. This is another tip. You can also run searches if you're looking for a specific client or a specific person to work with, to be a business partner or mentor or collaborate with. You can create a search and have that running in the background for you, and LinkedIn will give you the initial search, and then you can set it up as a saved search. And it will keep sending you, let's say, once a week. If anyone new shows up in that query, they'll email it to you. So you can also be on the other side and have that working for you in the background, too, to bring you either job leads or client leads or leads for potential business partners or affiliates. So it does a lot from that perspective. And this is all with the free account. I had someone ask me the other day about the free account versus the paid. To me, I think it's worth the investment to pay it. However, not right now. Like, I've been using it for several years, and I still have the free account, right? And like I said, I've found clients, I've got job offers, I've found mentors, business partners, people who refer me business, all from using the LinkedIn free account. And I will probably eventually transition to the paid service because then you can do even more. You can connect more. You can send more email messages. You can do more value.
Wow.
But definitely worth it, yeah.
Wow.
So that's the
well,
third tip.
You guys don't look. Y'all better go. We better go get our LinkedIn life with LaTrice. LinkedIn life with LaTrice. There you go.
I'm writing that down too. That's another.
LinkedIn life with LaTrice. So we are actually at our end. We're at our end. Can you believe it? Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
And I definitely want to go ahead and let you, again, give your contact information. And I always ask people to give us any words of wisdom that we may not have uncovered here today.
I would say my words of wisdom, even though we probably covered this, is not just know your worth. Right? And not just knowing your worth, but being able to clearly communicate your worth, whether that is in your career or in your business or with your services or your products, and really staying by that. Not saying you can't work with people, but definitely know your value and know your worth in dollars and cents and in more, and in how much time you're putting into something, and, who you're giving your energy to. And one of my things that I'm really focusing on now is the success tribe. Watch who you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with people who are going to motivate you, who are going to inspire you, but who are also going to elevate you and keep you accountable as well. So I'm a huge, huge advocate of building a success tribe. So words of wisdom, know your worth and know how to communicate that worth, and then build your success tribe, making sure that you have people in your court where they're going to help you succeed and accomplish your goals. And I will say, let me give my contact information out of that. If you have any questions about LinkedIn or business or starting a business or careers, you can reach me. You can email me at LaTrice@talentstave.com, and that's LaTrice @TalentStay.com. And then I just put out a brand new audio program with the 7 beliefs blocking you from your dream career, and that really focuses on what's holding you back from accomplishing your dreams in your career or your business. And I talk about things like making decisions by committee, thinking that you need to work twice as hard and do twice as much. It just takes you twice as long to get where you need to get when you were ready and half the time. And that is a free audio training, and you can get that at talentstays.com/7 beliefs, and it's the number 7 and beliefs. So again, it's TalentStays.com/7, the number 7, BELIES. So definitely get that. If you have any questions, let me know.
Awesomeness. Well, thank you, LaTrice, for coming by the conversation. This has been an amazing conversation. We appreciate everything that you have shared with us today.
Thank you for having me. This was great. You did keep me on my toes.
That's my job. But yes, I am excited. Everybody, we learned so much today. We learned about LinkedIn, resumes, and life, all in the conversation. I appreciate this one. And, guys, if you don't know how to connect with me, all you need to know is how to spell my first name, Stevie, Stevii, Stevie.com. And Stevie is Aisha Mills everywhere, social media. And like my friend Lucinda Cross says, who you may have seen on Queen Boss, I got to give her a shout-out because that Queen Boss is a dope show if you haven't seen it on BET or Centric. But they don't pay me, so I can't talk to them about it. But yeah, so definitely, like she says, I am Google-licious, and I am excited to be that way. So definitely Google me, and you will see everything you need to know, good, bad, ugly, and different. And I'm playing. But I never tell people to have a great day. I do my best to say make it a great day, because when you make it a great day, you know that you have the power to do so. And I want to invite you to the next experience event we are doing in Roanoke, Virginia on March 17th and 18th weekend. Definitely got to go to bit.ly 2017 shift. Again, bit.ly/2017. No, that is not the link, y'all. I'm doing a lot this month, actually. That is the link to my solo seminar. You got to get that. But I am experienceroanoke.eventbrite.com is that link. So definitely get connected to that, experienceroanoke.eventbrite.com. It's absolutely complimentary, or like I like to say, priceless. And you can be there with us. So definitely we'll see you. Definitely get connected to what LaTrice is doing, and we shall see you later. Ciao for now.
Bye.